name is Michael Anthony. For many years, I was executive secretary to the late John Beresford Tipton, whose practice it was to bestow gifts of $1 million tax-free. I was also, you might say, the official biographer of the Tipton-made millionaires, carefully chronicling their lives. These accounts were as precious to Mr. Tipton as Silverstone itself. Silverstone, the magnificent 60,000-acre estate in the grand tradition, where he devoted the major part of his time to intellectual pursuits. Of all his varied interests, the most searching one was his preoccupation with the mystery of man. You sent for me, sir?
Drink that, will you, Mike? Of course, I should warn you that it's poisoned.
Poison? You wouldn't do such a thing, sir.
If you're convinced of that, go ahead and drink it. You realize, of course, that by refusing to drink, you're as much as saying that I'm capable of murder. Well, Mike, how about it? Sometimes it's hard to know what to believe, isn't it, Mike? Our next millionaire.
Irene Marshall had met her husband through their mutual interest in archaeology. She and Eric Marshall had been married for 5 happy years, never separated, until he went on that ill-fated expedition into the interior of Australia.
Now, I suppose it's silly of me to write you so often when I don't really know where to send the letters. But as far as I can figure, you should be heading back toward civilization by now. Whether my letters reach you or not, darling. Hello?
Hello, Mrs. Marshall.
Oh, yes, this is Mrs. Marshall.
Hello.
Oh, Eric, darling. Wonderful. You're already back in Melbourne. Oh, we have a bad connection, darling. I can just barely... Yes.
Calling from the hospital in Melbourne.
Hospital in Melbourne? Well, what's happened? Is Eric ill? Oh, please, I can't hear you.
There are only 4 survivors.
Survivors of the expedition? 4 of them? Where is Eric? Are you his doctor? Please, let me talk to his doctor.
Irene, I came as soon as I could, as soon as they let me travel.
I didn't ask you to come.
No, but may I come in? I tried to call you last week from Melbourne.
I had the phone disconnected. There were too many calls from sympathizers, reporters.
I thought you might want to hear about Eric.
I've already heard more than I wanted to, or can believe, about Eric. I read the statements that you and Canute, and Charles and David prepared for the press.
Irene, I would have given anything if the story hadn't broken like that. We'd wandered for days. When we were finally picked up, I was unconscious. Canute had to explain why Eric wasn't with us. So they sent a plane back to try to find us.
Oh, it's strange, isn't it? You could find the mounds that you were after, but you couldn't find the place where Eric was buried. A very successful expedition for everyone but Eric.
Irene, you can't know what it was like. Lost. Our supplies gone. Crazy with thirst. We weren't ourselves. We weren't even men.
But 4 men came back, and Eric did not.
At this moment, I could wish I hadn't. Happy New Year, Mrs. Marshall.
Oh, thank you. Happy New Year to you.
My name is Michael Anthony, Mrs. Marshall. You are Irene Marshall.
Yes?
Could you give me just a few minutes of your time?
Well, I have a great deal of time these days. Come in.
I came to bring you this. A cashier's check.
A cashier's check.
For $1 million.
For $1 million?
It's a gift, Mrs. Marshall, and the taxes have already been paid on it.
But who would... $1 million? It looks so real.
It is. Any bank will honor it.
But I don't understand why anyone would...
The donor must remain anonymous.
But I would like to thank him at least.
I'll do it for you. If you will sign this paper, agreeing never to reveal the exact amount or the circumstances under which you received it. If you do, the remainder of the money will be forfeited. You will see there is one exception. You may tell your husband.
My husband is dead.
Yes, I know. But if you should remarry...
Oh, when I think of what this would have meant to Eric, the expeditions we could have financed.
Why not think of what it could mean to you, Mrs. Marshall? You're still young. You could travel, forget the past.
It was Eric's job to dig into the past, unearth secrets. There's some secrets in the past that I'd like to dig into.
Oh, thank you.
Canute, the mail just came and... Oh, you got one, too. What's it about?
Well, let me try and figure it out, David. Your presence is required at a banquet commemorating the first anniversary of the expedition into Central Australia.
And a plane ticket to California.
You know, the last I heard of Alan Reese, he was curator in a museum in San Francisco, but I think Alan would be the last one to want us all 4 to meet again.
Must be Charles Cartwright. He's the only other one who knows the truth.
Where is Charles now, do you know?
Teaching. University at Berkeley. It's 8:30 and past.
looking well.
And David, I read your article in the review. Very good. Thank you. I suppose we should say thank you. Thank me? For your invitation, the plane tickets. My invitation? I thought this was something you would plan.
You mean you didn't send the tickets?
I? How could I? Even if I wanted to. On a professor's salary? Then it must be Alan who sent for us.
Our waiter should know where he is.
Alan.
Alan, tell us quickly before the others come. Tell us what you want of us.
What I want? Oh, Dave. Charlie. Hello, Alan. You're here, too.
Then this wasn't your idea, Alan?
Mine? Of course not.
I said you would be the last one to plan such a thing.
All looks so strangely familiar. Almost as if I'd seen it before somewhere.
Dr. Soren, how very nice of you to come. I am truly flattered that a man as important as you are could find the time to honor my invitation.
It was good of you to ask me, Mrs. Marshall.
Mr. Cartwright? Or I should say Dr. Cartwright, shouldn't I? I think I read that you had received your doctorate. Didn't I read that you had received these honors on the basis of the findings of the Australian expedition?
Yes, Mrs. Marshall.
Well, congratulations, Dr. Cartwright.
Thank you.
Mr. Hunter, thank you so much for coming.
Thank you for asking me.
Oh, it is Mr. Hunter, isn't it? Or have you been rewarded with your doctor's degree also?
No, I haven't.
Well, I'm sure you will be. Oh, Alan. It's been a long time, almost a year, since I saw you.
You look very good, Irene.
Thank you. I had thought that you might write or call.
I wanted to, but...
Oh, thank you. You may leave this here now, and when I'm ready for dinner, I'll ring for you.
Irene, are we waiting for someone else?
I'm afraid it's a very sentimental whim of mine. This place was set for Eric. Eric would have wanted to be here, among all of his closest friends, celebrating the anniversary of your expedition into Central Australia. Well, to the success of that expedition, to the success of all expeditions into the past. And to Eric. Dr. Sorens, I never thanked you for your very sympathetic letter after my husband's death.
I meant to come and see you.
Oh, but you were very busy, of course. I will admit that there were many questions on my mind, but perhaps you couldn't have answered them. So, a few months ago, when I came into a great deal of money, I financed an expedition of my own into Central Australia. Something was found there that puzzled me. Perhaps one of you can explain it. It was found buried near Eric's body. A water canteen with a bullet hole in it. He shot himself in the temple, you said. What was he doing with the canteen? Sleeping on it? Using it as a pillow? Oh, no. No one will ever make me believe that Eric Marshall killed himself. He was stronger than all of you. All of you. He had come home safe from expeditions just as dangerous as this one. Except that on this one, there was one man who resented him. Who wanted him dead. And I want to know just which one of you it was. I want the truth. And I'm willing to pay for it. This is a signed check for $100,000. I've left the name blank. But whichever one of you is willing to tell me about Eric's death can fill in his own name.
Irene, please.
Nobody need fear that the police will ever be brought into this. I only want the truth for myself. And Eric.
$100,000.
David, we all promised that we would...
Yes, you promised. You four survivors stood together to make a contemptible coward out of Eric.
Mrs. Marshall.
Well, that's how it was, wasn't it? Admit it. Tell me the truth.
All right.
David.
Well, why shouldn't she know the truth? I'm tired of covering up for a... Your husband didn't die, as we said. He was...
David, stop it. Somebody's got to tell her I'll do it. Irene, you're right. Eric didn't kill himself. I shot him. When we were found, Canute and the others decided not to tell the truth.
Well, then this is yours.
Why didn't you ask why Alan had the shooting?
David, perhaps we were wrong, Mrs. Marshall, but we decided to lie in order to protect you.
Protect me. Protect me?
Yes, and Eric's good name. But perhaps lies, for whatever purpose, are never very good. Obviously, ours made you spend a long year grieving over a man who...
It wasn't worth the sand in Alan's boots. Well, he wasn't, and you know it. Eric Marshall. He'd always been a hero of mine until that trip. A hero. Sneaking off in the night with our only weapon and our last drop of water.
David, stop it. The facts are bad enough without your... I'm sorry, Mrs. Marshall. We hoped you would never know.
Eric took your water? Dr. Sorens?
I am so very sorry.
Left us for dead. If Alan hadn't caught him, that's where we'd all be, dead.
She's heard enough.
Now that she has, she may as well hear the rest. Alan didn't know who it was. He went after Eric. They struggled. The gun was fired accidentally.
I said she's heard enough.
Irene. Irene, listen. Irene, listen to me.
No, let me go.
Irene,
let me go.
listen to me.
I can't listen anymore. Yeah, it was all I had to know
You
that...
know the facts, but you don't know the truth. Are you listening to me?
The fact?
I said you've heard the facts, but they're not always the whole truth. Now, that day I came to see you, I told you that toward the end of the expedition, we were none of us ourselves.
But Eric was strong.
Stronger than all of us, you said, and you were right. And he used that strength to help us. He put himself on half rations so that I could have food when I was sick. And he carried Canute for hours one blistering day when Canute didn't have strength enough to stand. Irene, this is the truth behind the facts. Because he was strong and determined to reach our goal, he weakened himself to help us. So at the end, that wasn't Eric anymore who did the things that David said. Oh, Irene, believe me, that wasn't Eric. That was the remnants of a man who destroyed himself trying to save his friends.
Alan? Alan, thank you. You've given me back a memory I can live with.